You ever trusted someone so much, you could swear they'd take a bullet for you, only to find out they were the one holding the gun the whole time? That's where my story begins. My name's Daniel Cole, and this is how I turned betrayal into revenge. I grew up in Pittsburgh, in a neighborhood where loyalty wasn't just a word, it was survival. My father was a steel worker, my mother a nurse. They didn't have much, but they taught me one thing that stuck. A man is only as good as his word. I lived by that, trusted it, believed it, which is why when Adam Walker walked into my life, I thought I had found a brother, not just a friend. Adam wasn't like the rest of us. He carried himself with this easy charm, the kind that drew people in without trying. We met freshman year of high school after he stepped in when two older kids tried to shove me into a locker. He fought them off, cracked a joke after, and just like that, we were inseparable. We studied together, played ball together, got into trouble together. If you saw me, you saw Adam, and for more than a decade, I thought he was the one person I'd never have to question. When we turned 25, we pooled what little savings we had and started a small logistics company. Trucks, warehouses, shipping contracts. It wasn't glamorous, but we dreamed big. We wanted to build something that would outlive us. We worked ourselves to the bone, eating fast food dinners in the cab of a truck, pulling 18-hour days. And slowly, it started to pay off. Clients came in, checks got bigger. Life was finally looking up. But success does strange things to people. I noticed Adam changing. His suits got sharper, his car more expensive, his nights longer. At first, I thought it was just him celebrating what we'd built. But little by little, I realized he wasn't celebrating with me. He was building a world where I was just a shadow. The breaking point came one night in December. I walked into a downtown bar after a late delivery and froze. Adam was there, laughing with a group of men I recognized from the news, guys tied to racketeering, fraud, maybe worse. They were predators, sharks in tailored suits. And there was Adam, my best friend, clinking glasses with them like he belonged. I didn't confront him then. Instead, I slipped out and told myself maybe I was overthinking. But 2 weeks later, I got a letter from the bank. A loan under my name. $500,000, signed with my signature. Except it wasn't my hand. It was Adam's. I remember sitting on my bed with that letter, the room spinning. My best friend had forged my name. My partner had buried me in debt I never asked for. That night, I drove past one of our warehouses. Adam's car was parked outside. I killed the lights, stayed low, and watched. What I saw changed everything. Men unloading crates. Not construction supplies. Not shipments. Crates stacked with cash wrapped in plastic. Adam was laundering money. Using our business, using my name, I could have gone to the cops. But I wasn't stupid. Those men didn't need trials to hand out punishments. If I talked, I'd end up floating face down in the river. So I did the only thing I could. I smiled the next morning when Adam walked into the office. I shook his hand like nothing had changed. And in that moment, I swore a promise to myself. I'd make him pay. Revenge isn't fire. Fire burns quick, hot, and loud. Revenge is ice, cold, silent, patient. I knew Adam's weaknesses better than anyone. His arrogance, his greed, and his obsession with women he couldn't stay loyal to. Those were my weapons. I started small, quiet. At night, I broke into the office, copied files, emails, contracts. I built a folder of evidence, every forged loan, every dirty shipment. I hid it beneath a loose floorboard in my apartment. Then I started to play with him. A rerouted truck here, a late shipment there, just enough to get under his skin. When clients complained, I watched him explode, screaming into phones, pounding his desk. But he never suspected me. Next came the whispers. Anonymous messages to his burner phones. Notes under his office door. They know. Does she know? Cryptic, vague, but poisonous. Paranoia started eating him alive. He lost his temper in meetings. He snapped at employees. His once perfect charm began to crack. The deeper I dug, the uglier it got. Adam wasn't just laundering money. He was skimming off the top, taking slices from the same men he was supposed to be cleaning money for. Men who didn't forgive betrayal. That was the crack I needed. I compiled everything. Bank records, fake contracts, photos of the warehouse drops, copies of the forged signatures. Enough to bury him in prison or bury him in the ground. And then I waited. The night it all came crashing down was one I'll never forget. A storm rolled over Pittsburgh, rain pounding the streets. Adam was leaving some fancy hotel gala, drunk, his tie loose, his smile forced. I stepped out of the shadows. "Evening, partner," I said. He froze, eyes narrowing. "Dan, what the hell are you doing here?" I held up a flash drive. "This is your life. Every lie, every dollar, every deal. And copies. They're already with people you don't want finding out." For the first time, I saw fear in Adam's eyes. His lips trembled, his charm slipping away. He tried to laugh it off, but the sound died in his throat. "You don't know what you're starting," he whispered. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm starting," I told him. That was the last conversation we ever had. In the weeks that followed, Adam's empire crumbled. Clients dropped him. Investors vanished. And the men he thought he could outsmart, the ones whose money he'd stolen, they found out. Adam disappeared soon after. Some say he ran south. Others swear they saw him at the docks one night and never again. Me, I don't care. Because for me, revenge wasn't about killing him. It was about balance. Making sure he felt every ounce of betrayal he'd handed me. People ask if it was worth it. If years of planning, nights of silence, the weight of secrets were worth the price. And here's my answer. Peace never mattered to me. What mattered was justice. What mattered was looking in the mirror and knowing I wasn't the fool anymore. My name is Daniel Cole. And this was the story of how I learned the coldest truth. Trust is fragile. Once it's broken, there's no fixing it. There's only revenge.